Well, first it was the stove, now water heaters. These appliances are the latest to be added to a proposal for new regulations to lower the U.S.'s energy use.
Most people think expensive equals reliable when buying water heaters. They're dead wrong. My latest investigation revealed that two budget brands actually outperform luxury models, costing triple the price. But here's what's really twisted. The worst performing brand is probably sitting in your local Home Depot right now. American Standard water heaters have earned themselves quite the reputation, and not the good kind. These units are like that friend who always shows up to dinner but never brings wine. They look decent enough at first glance, but give them a couple of years and you'll be dealing with leaks that would make a garden sprinkler jealous. Here's the real kicker. 38% of owners report tank leaks or valve failures before hitting the 4-year mark. That's worse odds than finding a parking spot at the grocery store on Sunday afternoon. Most of these problems magically appear right after the warranty expires, almost like the heater has a built-in calendar. But wait, there's more bad news brewing. Owners frequently complain about rust and water discoloration showing up way too early. Nothing says, "Good morning," like brown water coming out of your shower head, right? The frustration doesn't end there either. When something does break, and it will, finding replacement parts becomes a treasure hunt that would challenge even the most determined garage sale enthusiast. Parts are expensive and harder to locate than a decent mechanic these days. Sure, the initial price tag might seem attractive, but those savings disappear faster than cookies at a church social when you start counting plumber visits. Whirlpool might make decent washing machines, but their water heaters? That's a different story entirely. The biggest headache with these units is their heating problems, and I mean serious ones. You know what's worse than running out of hot water during your morning shower? Having a heater that randomly decides to give you lukewarm water one day and scalding the next. That's the Whirlpool experience in a nutshell. The electronic control units are particularly troublesome. These fancy digital brains fail so often, you'd think they were designed by someone who never heard of reliability testing. Many owners find themselves replacing these controls every 12 to 18 months. It's like buying a car where the steering wheel falls off every winter. Then there's the warranty game. Looks generous on paper, right? Well, read the fine print. It excludes most electrical repairs. Guess what breaks most often on a Whirlpool? The electrical parts. Customer complaints about unreliable heating cycles put Whirlpool in the top 5 worst performers this year. Dealers privately admit these models come back more than a boomerang. But here's where things get really interesting. Some brands actually make the warranty situation look downright generous. EcoSmart sounds like the perfect solution, right? Energy efficient, modern technology, saving money on your electric bill. Well, here's where things get interesting. These tankless units love to break down just when you need them most. It's like buying a fancy sports car that runs out of gas in your own driveway. The breakdowns hit hard after only moderate use, leaving families scrambling for hot showers. But the real kicker? Those consistent water temperatures they promise? Forget about it. One minute you're enjoying a nice warm shower, the next minute you're doing the cold water dance because the unit just decided to take a break. Sudden shutdowns become your new normal, especially if your home has older plumbing. And here's the part that'll really get your blood boiling: their customer service. Good luck reaching anyone who can actually help you. Some folks wait months just to get their units repaired. Months! The numbers tell the whole story. About 30% of EcoSmart owners needed at least one major repair within just 2 years of ownership. That's nearly 1 in 3 buyers dealing with headaches they never signed up for. Speaking of headaches, let's talk about a brand that makes installation feel like solving a jigsaw puzzle. Richmond water heaters might seem like a steal at checkout, but they'll have you reaching for your wallet again sooner than you'd like. These budget-friendly units come with a nasty habit of thermocouple and ignition failures that pop up just when you need hot water most. But here's where it gets really frustrating. Ever tried assembling furniture with instructions written in ancient hieroglyphics? Well, Richmond's installation manuals make IKEA look like Shakespeare. One homeowner described it perfectly. Like buying a puzzle with missing pieces. The confusing diagrams and unclear steps turn what should be straightforward into a weekend nightmare. Then there's the warranty dance. Richmond plasters impressive coverage numbers all over their marketing, but processing actual claims? Good luck with that maze. Customer service satisfaction ratings put Richmond among the bottom dwellers in 2025, and it shows when you're stuck on hold for 40 minutes. The real kicker comes with those frequent ignition problems. What seemed like savings up front quickly evaporates when you're calling professionals every few months. Makes sense, right? Those repair bills add up faster than pennies in a parking meter. Speaking of unexpected costs, wait until you hear about Reliance and their hard water horror stories. Reliance water heaters sound trustworthy, right? Well, don't let the name fool you. These units have a serious weakness that'll make your wallet cry. They absolutely hate hard water. If you live anywhere with mineral-heavy water, especially in the Midwest, you're basically signing up for headaches. The sediment builds up faster than dust on Grandpa's reading glasses. Your heating elements start dying young, and efficiency drops like a rock. But here's the kicker. Larger families get hit the hardest. You'll find yourself running out of hot water quicker than expected because these heaters struggle to keep up once minerals start clogging things up. One frustrated homeowner put it perfectly. Good for soft water. A nightmare for anyone with Midwest minerals. The maintenance becomes a monthly chore. While other brands might need flushing once or twice a year, Reliance owners are out there every month, draining tanks and scraping sediment. That's not exactly the low-maintenance experience most seniors want. About 37% of complaints involve sediment problems and short-lived heating elements. The budget-friendly price tag quickly disappears when you factor in constant maintenance costs and frequent part replacements. Speaking of poor support experiences, our next brand takes customer service problems to a whole new level. Well, here's where things get really frustrating. Ruud makes decent water heaters that actually work pretty well when everything goes smoothly. But when something breaks, good luck getting help. Their customer support feels like trying to reach your grandkids during finals week. You're just not getting through. Owners report waiting weeks, sometimes months, for warranty claims to get processed. One guy told me it took 47 days just to get someone to return his call about a leaking tank. 47 days? That's longer than some Hollywood marriages last. The weird part is their heaters aren't of terrible quality. They've got solid components and decent engineering. But when you need replacement parts or technical support, it's like shouting into the Grand Canyon and hoping for an echo. And here's what really gets me. Ruud actually placed in the top 3 brands for support-related complaints nationwide in 2025. Think about that. Out of dozens of water heater companies, they managed to earn a bronze medal in customer frustration. For seniors especially, this creates a real problem. You need a trusted local plumber on speed dial because trying to work with Ruud directly becomes a full-time job. But speaking of full-time jobs, wait until you hear about our next brand's recall situation. Kenmore might sound familiar from your kitchen, but their water heaters, well, that's a different story entirely. And not a good one. Here's the thing that'll make your head spin. Kenmore has dealt with more recalls in the past decade than a politician has excuses. We're talking safety issues, performance failures, and sensors that quit working faster than a teenager asked to do chores. The recall rate? A whopping 18% higher than their competitors in 2025 alone. Makes sense, right? When you're known for refrigerators and suddenly jump into water heating, things get messy quickly. But here's where it gets really frustrating. Those sensor failures happen at the worst possible times. You're expecting a nice hot shower, and boom, the unit shuts down completely. No warning, no gradual cooling, just stone-cold water hitting you like a winter morning. One customer put it perfectly. Kenmore is famous in the kitchen, frustrating in the basement. The brand recognition tricks people into thinking they're getting quality, but water heaters aren't washing machines. Older homeowners especially get burned by this because they rely on consistent service. Short lifespans mean frequent replacements, which gets expensive fast. Then there's A.O. Smith, another household name that sounds trustworthy until you actually need that warranty. A.O. Smith heaters show up everywhere. Big box stores, plumber recommendations, online ads. They're like that popular restaurant everyone talks about until you actually eat there. Here's the kicker. Their warranties sound amazing on paper. Lifetime coverage, they'll promise. But when your heater starts acting up, suddenly, that warranty has more holes than Swiss cheese. Take a node rod deterioration. Happens to every water heater eventually. It's like your car needing new brake pads. Normal wear and tear, right? Well, A.O. Smith often calls this improper maintenance and denies your claim faster than you can say, hot shower. Then there's the valve leaks. These babies love to spring leaks right after the basic warranty period ends. Coincidence? About as likely as finding a unicorn in your backyard. The real punch in the gut comes with repair costs. Owners report paying 17% more to fix A.O. Smith units compared to other top brands in 2025. Why? These heaters are complex beasts that need certified technicians. Your neighborhood handyman won't cut it. Makes sense if you're building new with perfect conditions. But replacing an old unit in your basement? That's where things get tricky. Speaking of tricky situations, wait until you hear about parts availability issues. Rheem water heaters sit smack in the middle of our rankings, and here's why that's both good news and terrible news rolled into one frustrating package. The good news? When these babies work, they really work. Rheem has been around since 1925, so they know their way around hot water. The bad news? Well, let's just say finding parts for your Rheem is like hunting for a parking spot at the mall on Black Friday. Here's the deal. Rheem makes solid units, but their parts supply chain is messier than a toddler eating spaghetti. Need a simple thermocouple? 2 weeks. Want a control valve? 3 weeks if you're lucky. And don't even think about getting specialty components during peak season. One customer told us his Rheem worked perfectly for 4 years. Then, one tiny part failed. 23 days without hot water while waiting for a $15 component. 23 days. His wife nearly filed for divorce. The brand offers dozens of different models, which sounds great until you realize that means dozens of different parts that might go on back order. It's like owning a classic car. Beautiful when running, but good luck finding that specific widget you need. But here's where things get interesting with our next brand. Bosch water heaters come packed with more digital bells and whistles than a modern smartphone. But here's the thing, nobody tells you about all that fancy technology. Those sleek touchscreen controls? They're about as user-friendly as trying to program a VCR while wearing oven mitts. Settings mysteriously reset themselves overnight, leaving you wondering why your morning shower feels like an Arctic expedition. Well, blame the overly sensitive digital interface that seems to have a mind of its own. The European engineering is top-notch. I'll give them that. But when something goes wrong, you'll discover that getting support feels like calling your distant cousin in Germany who doesn't speak English. Response times drag, and finding technicians familiar with their systems can be trickier than finding a parking spot at the mall during Christmas shopping. Here's what really gets me. Bosch units generate about 12% more technical support calls than other brands, mostly because people can't figure out how to adjust their water temperature without accidentally activating some mystery eco mode. It's like buying a race car when all you need is a reliable pickup truck. Great if you're tech-savvy. Frustrating if you just want hot water without earning a computer science degree. But speaking of complications, wait until you hear about our next brand's installation nightmares. Rinnai gets a lot of buzz for their tankless water heaters. But here's the thing nobody tells you up front. These units are like buying a sports car when you really need a pickup truck. Sure, they're efficient and space-saving, but good luck if you're not ready for the commitment. The installation alone will make your wallet cry. We're talking $1,500 to $3,000 just to get one properly installed. Why? Because your house probably wasn't built for tankless technology. You'll need new gas lines, electrical upgrades, and venting modifications that would make a NASA engineer scratch their head. Then comes the maintenance schedule. Remember when cars needed tune-ups every 3,000 miles? Well, Rinnai tankless heaters are similar. They demand annual descaling, especially if you have hard water. Skip it once, and you're looking at expensive repairs. The learning curve is steeper than a mountain goat trail. 1 minute you're enjoying endless hot water. The next minute you're standing there shivering because someone turned on the dishwasher. These units can struggle when multiple faucets run simultaneously. But wait, there's one brand that keeps things refreshingly simple. After 11 disappointing brands, here's the surprise winner. Bradford White doesn't just beat the competition. They demolish it. Built right here in Pennsylvania, these heaters are like that reliable neighbor who always has your back. No fancy marketing gimmicks, just solid American engineering that actually works. Here's what makes them different. Every Bradford White heater must be installed by a certified professional. Sounds annoying, right? Wrong. This policy ensures your unit runs perfectly from day one. No weekend warrior installations that turn into Monday morning disasters. The numbers tell the whole story. 85% of owners rated their Bradford White heaters as satisfactory or better in 2025. Compare that to the 38% leak rate we saw with American Standard. But here's the real kicker. Their customer service actually answers the phone. Remember Rude's Canyon Echo treatment? Bradford White responds within 24 hours. Their warranty covers what it promises to cover. Revolutionary concept, isn't it? Senior homeowners consistently praise the low-maintenance design. These units run for years without fussing. No monthly flushes like Reliance. No confusing digital displays like Bosch. Bradford White proves that sometimes boring reliability beats flashy features every single time.